so we counted all the women and people of color at the DNC and the RNC. On Monday alone, America encountered disability rights advocate Anastasia Samosa, ninth-generation Mexican-American actress Eva Longoria, and undocumented immigrant and DREAMer Astrid Silva. And those women weren't even the evening's headliners. Cameras panning across the convention hall showed not just one or two black and Latino faces in a sea of white ones, like at the RNC, but a crowd that looks a lot more like America does, diverse. Essentially, we're being given two distinct versions of America. Last week we saw its past, and this week we're seeing its future. The numbers don't lie either. Hillary Clinton's campaign told Fusion that 2,887 of this year's 4,766 DNC delegates are women. Black men and women account for 1,182 delegates compared to 18 at the RNC, while 292 are Asian American, 747 are Latinos, and 633 are LGBTQ-identified people. 30 women stepped up to the podium Monday night at the DNC, and 30 men, making last night an even split between men and women. 18 of the 30 women who spoke were women of color, and at least 2 of the 30 women identify as lesbians. One of those 2 is a preacher and veteran, Nevada State Senator Pat Spearman.Aaaand. Here's what the RNC looked like. Vertical line. The first night at the RNC only featured 7 women, and as Quartz points out, 5 of those 7 spoke before prime time. Senator Joni Ernest was bumped to a late-night slot. And let's not forget the most memorable speech given by a woman at the RNC on opening night. Although, to be fair, the famous black woman was also represented vertical line, so, for all you meth nerds, the DNC had 23 more women speakers the first night of the DNC than the first night of the RNC. And guess what else? This year's DNC has at least 27 trans delegates, reports Mic.Then. There's the question of race. The DNC looked like a scene straight out of a certain popular '90s multicultural PBS show. Already we know that the majority of women who graced the stage last night were women of color. But here's the breakdown of race across gender: there were 18 black speakers last night. Coincidentally, that's exactly as many black delegates at the RNC total. 12 of Monday night's speakers were Latino. 29 white speakers got airtime at the podium, which means, friends, there were more women who spoke last night than white people who spoke in total. Wowee! According to Politico, more than 80% of the 71 primetime speakers at the RNC were white. There's nothing that captures the ideological differences between the Republican and Democratic parties like their respective conventions. The GOP struggles mightily to attract voters of color, and the 2016 primary election was viewed as a referendum on whether or not the party would shift with America's demographics. Clearly, it did not. Instead, it doubled down. The party's pick, Donald Trump, whose policies target immigrants and Muslims, is a reaction against inclusivity. If Monday night is any indication, the Democratic Party stands in stark opposition to the GOP's message.